Senator Peters, you recently introduced a bill to help prevent future infant formula shortages. Now, this comes after a bacterial contamination at an infant formula manufacturing facility in West Michigan led to the death of 9 infants and also a nationwide shortage in 2022. So, how will this bill help make sure something like that doesn't happen again?
So this bill is essential to make sure we don't have to relive the horrific incident of having baby formula sent out that was contaminated with bacteria that led to infant deaths and shortages and panicked families who were looking for formula to feed their babies and had oftentimes a very difficult time finding it. And if they did find it, it was often incredibly expensive as well. So that can never happen again. And what the FDA determined after that incident is that companies should test that formula before it actually leaves a production facility. Surprisingly, that wasn't the case beforehand, and you didn't really react until you knew there was a problem. And then once that problem was discovered, you try to backtrack to figure what batches might be contaminated and then recall them. That makes no sense in my mind. You should make sure you don't send anything out of the production facility that may be contaminated before it gets on the shelf. And the FDA came out with that recommendation and sought to voluntarily get manufacturers to do that. Unfortunately, here we are. We still only have one manufacturer that actually tests before it sends its product out of the facility. That's unacceptable. Everyone should do it. My legislation will basically give the authority to the FDA to mandate testing of infant formula before it even leaves the production facility. That's why I've introduced the legislation. We're hoping to get it passed quickly. And so every family feels confident that the infant formula that they're buying is safe.
And does this legislation have bipartisan support?
It does have bipartisan support. I'm working with a Republican colleague of mine that has broad support from maternal health groups, infant health groups, groups like the March of Dimes, for example, is a strong supporter. We came very close to passing this bill at the end of last year, but it now needs to be reintroduced. So I hope that momentum that we were able to get at the end of last year carries forward. I believe it will, and we'll be able to make sure that infant formula is safe for everyone.
It's been a busy 24 hours for Senate Democrats there in Washington. You held the floor all night to oppose the confirmation of Russ Vought to lead the Office of Management and Budget. What is the message that Democrats are trying to send by doing this?
Well, Mr. Vogt is a person who basically endorses breaking the law and being above the law. We saw that action in the last Trump administration where he withheld funding that was appropriated by Congress. For example, after the hurricane in Puerto Rico, he actually withheld funding, which is a violation of the law, from going to people who were suffering as the result of being victims of a horrible, horrible natural disaster. In committee, he's before my committee. He says that he believes that laws are requiring him to actually spend money the way Congress directs are unconstitutional. They're not. The Supreme Court has already ruled that that is wrong, but he basically believes he is above the law. And it's very clear that no one is above the law. And to have someone who believes that he does not need to follow the law, to me, is disqualifying for a position of the importance that he has been nominated for.
A little closer to home now, there is an effort underway in Michigan to expand passenger rail services throughout the entire state, connecting the entire lower peninsula north to south through passenger rail. But we know that this would require some federal funding. So is this something that you will push for to secure funding to make this a reality?
Yeah, I've always been excited about this project to be able to construct this rail line. I think passenger rail has so many benefits, particularly from an economic development perspective. I fully support it. We'll be working to get funding to be able to move forward. Although this is not a project that will move quickly, but it's one that I hope that we're able to work on over the next few years and make it a reality.
Senator Peters, thanks so much for taking some time to talk with me. Hopefully, I'll talk with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.